Hello to all. My name is Ilona. I am here with Marta. And today we prepare something for you which is related to videos, photos, and all the things connected with visualization. It's something I think what is very needed even if you are a small organization like we are, Mission Reconnect. And just also before talking about visualization, let's a little bit explain who we are and why we do such videos. So we are a small Czech organization which is active in Erasmus Plus, let's say, field program, but also we do other things. And we have now one project supported by the Czech National Agency. It's called Digital Tools to Engage, to Empower, and to Connect. You see the screen behind me. And right in this project, which is long-term, we do series of online workshops, also videos. We had one international training and there will be other activities also face-to-face. Our aim of this project is to increase our own capacities, how to work with different digital tools and in, let's say, digital work, but also share a little bit of knowledge with more people. So we all are more, let's say, capable to do stuff. And today's topic is kind of connecting different points. It's like how I say videos, photos, and all it's about visualization, let's say how we convey the messages. Because maybe we can all agree that the word is not enough just to speak verbally, but it's always very important to have something more. The word is visual. We need to kind of use this like understanding that people want to see different things, that to work with photos and to work with videos. I really believe that, how I say before, that if you just hear me talk, and I know that sometimes I talk even too fast, it's not enough. So even this sentence or simple presentation and using different visuals is very important. So firstly, for me, always visualization goes with presenting content and information. If I am a small organization, I want to still share some information. I am also working like a trainer, facilitator. So for me, it's very important to kind of convey the message. And I use photos and videos to help me. And at the same time, it's also like important for us to present ourselves like an organization and to catch attention of people around. Because what we really try also to do is to inform people about the Erasmus Plus program and all the opportunities. Also, I see it like a very important in the way that I am supporting this process of guiding of group. If I work with people, even if you are a small group, it's always very important for me to have at least some flip chart paper or piece of paper A4 to write some messages and use it. And of course, like if I can show some photos or if I can show videos, it's a great way how to push people to be kind of more included in the process. And last but not least, why we also speak about visualization is that it's very, I think, important in the context of documenting outcomes. When we do youth activities, for example, Marta with me did activities in form of training courses, we always try to, for example, take some photos and we will show them here to you, but we also try to make some videos with the people. Because we believe that when we capture the kind of impression of the people, we can after use it later. But also it's, I think, very valuable for the person itself, because while sharing and expressing the participants, they kind of, I think, can reflect on their learning process. If we are individuals or organizations, it's very important to think about our visual language, how we want to talk. You know that if we use verbal language, we have different vocabularies. Yeah, we have even different languages. Sometimes I talk in Czech, sometimes I'll talk in English. But when we have a visual, for example, like an organization says, okay, so what will be our visual language? Just to give example, what is visual language is basically using all different elements. If you see in this presentation, there are even two logos, yeah? One says co-funded by the European Union because the project, Digital Tools to Engage, to Empower, and to Connect, is supported to Erasmus program. It means that it's co-funded by the European Union. And the other logo is Dům zahraniční spolupráce. It means like the Czech National Agency. And even using logos, it's part of your visual language. And that's very important, I think, for organization or for individuals to think, so what will be my visual language? Which kind of logos I will use? Even maybe the basic question, how logo of my organization or me like an individual will look like, how I will present myself. It's very important to have on mind that we have the importance of understanding that if we speak about visualization, it needs to be like a visual language. And now, what is visual language besides logos? We can start very simply. You see here like a circle, triangle, square, line, and point. And basically, that's a visual language. That's the key elements. If you think about visual language, basically everything starts with basic shapes. And you can just now also try some basic activity. And you can take up the piece of paper and just try how many kind of objects or how many messages you can just convey by using this like basic 5 shapes. So it's also like, let's say that sometimes we don't need to think something, oh, like huge, but it's about like breaking it to the basics. Of course, that visual language after is upgrading. So if we go a step up and you, for example, use many times like a facilitator or trainer or organization, we do write a lot. And you can just learn that anything what you put in some frame looks basically better or with some bubble. So that's like other important element of visual language. It's to decide what kind of banners, frames of, let's say, containers you will use for your visual language. And in this way, any kind of message, let's say, maybe will catch more attention. So banners, frames, and containers. Now we come to something what a very long time was very challenging for me, and that's the characters and figures. Because I was like always sure that I cannot draw, but you see that I will now also zoom it, that some of the characters are very simple and they don't really deserve like a lot of like, how to say, drawing skills. It's again about the simple thing that you create your visual language and the way how you will use and how you will create characters, figures, and how you will transfer emotions. And this, if you think about it, any kind of your message, even if you are a trainer, that any kind of like flip chart will look much more better. So just think about it, how maybe your favorite character can look like. If you think that you cannot really like draw, here you have metrics of Austin Kleon, and basically you see that by circle and dots and by line, you can express all the emotions. You can show that you are happy or you are angry, and that's everything. It's just like few simple lines. Be visual doesn't really require like to be like great in drawing. You know, it's just more about like how you will convey your message by using simple shape. And just to don't forget other elements, it's about colors. And of course, it's all about lettering and letters and fonts. So if again you go for some message, it's very important to decide what will be my font or how my letters will look like. And last but not least, I also want to point out attention to composition. I here have like, let's say, few examples. Because when we convey messages, and for example, like an organization, you want to attract people, it's also how we basically put it on the paper. And there are also just like a few ways how to think about it. Firstly, we also need to have on mind how people read. So if you know that we read, let's say, from left to right, And always also the composition should kind of like support a little bit the reading. Or you can make it challenging for people and make something totally different, but after you need to hope that people will stick to your message. But also like how you kind of divide the space which you have in a way that it's attractive for the people. And here are also just like few examples about how to play with composition. Visualization, according to me, is very important way how we present content and information. We support like what we want to like kind of share with the group and how we want to guide them. And we also use it for documenting outcomes. If you think about visualization, I encourage you to think visually and to pay attention from now on about all these visuals which you meet in everyday life. When we go to the basics, I want to encourage you to create your own visual language. That means play with firstly basic shapes. Think what everything you can create with basic shapes, what kind of messages. Think about using banners, frames, and containers. Characters, figures, and also don't forget emotions. Don't forget colors and fonts. And of course, the composition is also key. In this case, sometimes I think less is more. Because personally, I think we all can have different tastes, but I would always encourage you to keep it simple. So there was like few tips about visualization, and I just want to say that I don't have any copyright about that. I am just kind of conveying the message. And now I will share a few tips with you where you can find more information. And the first really good material, which I would encourage everyone to check out, is a visual facilitation cookbook. Everything what I share with you is taken from this cookbook. And I had the opportunity to be trained by the trainers which created this cookbook. And if you open this cookbook, you will see that it's very nicely describe everything what I talked. So you see this chapter Y visual facilitation, and you can also create your visual language. Starting from basic shapes, you now see like what you can do with basic shapes. And also like what you can do, for example, with other like elements. So this is, I think, one of the most valuable materials. This cookbook of visualization. I really recommend you to check it out. It's available on Salto, and we will share the links with you. What I would like to share more is this tool, and that's like a strip creator. When we speak about visualization, I found it sometimes very useful. So the strip creators are online programs which basically allows you to create your own small strips. So if you work with young people or you want to make it more attractive, you don't need to kind of know how to draw by yourself, but you basically have your characters and you just put some kind of sentences of the characters. There are now many, and I don't want to say that one is better than other. I think it's about what we prefer. So there is this picture chart. There is also something what it's called Pixton, or like there is also with me. Of course, I think maybe now the most known is Canva, at least around me. And what all these tools are doing, that they kind of help you to create different visualizations. Like for example, now we are inside of my Canva. And I just want to say that, for example, Canva, if you are from an organization, it's free for non-profits. So you can like use it. And they can help you to create like, let's say, different posters or to play with photos. And all this program, which I mentioned, can really help you to create like any kind of visual messages, including like videos or infographics. So you really don't need to start from the beginning, I think, nowadays. And there is a lot of this kind of like tools available. So I will just encourage you to check them out and to basically find the one which works the best for you.